Hey there, I'm Gabriela. In today's episode, I will explain to you why it's so hard to understand native Spanish speakers. Can you make the difference in ¿Qué palo ir al paro? Listen carefully again. ¿Qué palo ir al paro? Anything? Some of it? Well, then this video is just for you. Stick till the end and you will get a free listening exercise to improve your Spanish phonemes. Understanding spoken language, particularly from native speakers, presents a complex problem involving both technical details and language details. When we tune into someone speaking, we are in a stream of sounds that our brains strive to organize into coherent units such as sentences, words, and phrases. This complex process involves not only identifying the sounds, but also figuring out the intent meaning. At the core of this process are phonemes, the foundational blocks of speech. These tiny units form the basis upon which language is constructed, allowing us to distinguish one word from another. When we hear a word spoken in Spanish, what we are truly getting is a sequence of phonemes meticulously arranged. Our brain then applies meaning to this arrangement based on our linguistic background and exposure to the language. However, this process isn't always straightforward. We wish that, but our unique phonetic background and previous language exposure has a great influence on how we interpret and identify phonemes. This adds layers of complexity to our listening experience. So it's not only us, phonemes, and there are several things involved. In essence, listening involves technical sound processing and cognitive linguistics, as our brains sift through the layers of speech to extract the meaning from the auditory landscape. Let's consider a simple word in Spanish like casa. K-a-s-a, casa. Or saca. S-a-k-a, saca. Here, sounds are woven together, forming the fabric of meaning. It's not just about learning what a word means, it's about isolating and reproducing the individual phonemes that form it. It's like picking the phonemes from the fluidity of speech. Understanding a new language can be tough, I know, especially when the sounds are totally different from what we are used to. For example, as a Spanish speaker, I have phonetic patterns that interfere in the way I perceive the sounds in English. Let's say, like a simple word in English, good. The vowel sound in good, which is, it's similar but not exactly the same as the sound in Spanish for tú, u, often written as u. Since I don't have a strong background in phonetics, it's tough for me to pick up on this sound just by listening, let alone getting it right when I see it written down. It's just like my native language has left its mark on the way I perceive sounds. When I listen to an English native speaker expecting to hear good and they say good, I naturally feel lost. Not only that, but when I see the written word, I might exclaim, "What? I just said that." The same reasoning can be applied to different English patterns you might find on your Spanish learning journey. Let's say todo versus toro. The difference lies in the pronunciation of the D and the R sounds, the dental D in todo and the tap in toro. For Spanish learners, distinguishing and reproducing these subtle phonetic variations can be challenging, which in this particular case is something to pay particular attention to because it's not the same saying all or saying bull. Learners should be mindful of how their native language influences their pronunciation in Spanish and in consequence their ability to understand natural speech. With the right mindset and approach, you can transform this challenge into a rewarding opportunity for growth. Learning a new language is like rewiring your brain, and sometimes it takes a while for everything to click into place. Learning a language, it takes a lot, I know, and it's super hard to understand native speakers, but there are things that we could be doing that are super helpful, like training our ear to discern phonetic nuances and gradually produce the Spanish patterns accurately. Also, we can focus on identifying all the phonemes in Spanish. Start by familiarizing yourself with the neutral sounds of Spanish, avoiding getting too deeply into dialectal variations, unless you're living or planning to live in a specific region. You don't want to jump too early on the differences between llama, llama, shama, llama. We don't need that. Listen to phonemes both in isolation and in context of words. Practice mimicking native speakers as they articulate these phonemes within words. Pay attention to the way that we articulate, we produce the sound, let's say. And also you can select a study case, and if you find yourself like struggling a bit with these phonemes, it's much better because you can just study these phonemes as much as possible. But my best advice would be to use authentic and didactic recordings, tailored to your study case. Get yourself in these resources and try to transcribe and interpret these target phonemes. This is gonna be amazing. Like we say in Spanish, te va a dar la vida. So, thank you so much for getting till the end. And if you go to the description of the video, you're gonna find a link that is gonna take you directly to my website. Leave your email there and I will send you an amazing exercise for doing all this bunch of things that I just mentioned. Thank you so much for watching, and thumbs up if you really enjoy some of the content. Ciao!